Disclaimer, this video contains my opinion. Today we're going to be talking about Another, and I'm going to be deciding how much I liked it based on what I can remember from Another because I watched it like a year ago. At the very least, it was memorable enough for me to remember that I watched it. Another is a supernatural sort of type horror anime, but it was kind of weird from what I remember. In the anime, stuff started off pretty good, with the whole horror mystery aspect. I only remember one person's name in the entire show. May is the only person whose name I remember. I'm not very good with names, so this is unsurprising, but the names weren't very memorable. The show starts off with, typical mysterious horror plot. The show does a decent job of getting you invested in the first mystery, but I'm not so sure about the second one. I was more invested in the mystery of who May was as a character than the mystery that was going on in the class, while the weird stuff was taking place. It did feel like almost sort of scary towards the beginning of the series, but the closer and closer it got towards the finale, it really just felt like almost a comedy. It's like they were going off the rails insane, and I don't know if that's what they meant to do or not, but I was just like wondering if it was supposed to actually have any sort of tension in it, because I didn't even know what was going on anymore. It completely went off the rails, and in the last episode I was like, this anime feels like it's something that you watch and then you wake up from a dream. That's how it feels. It feels like both the characters should wake up from a dream, and I felt like I should wake up from a dream from how weird that was. Like, towards the end, it didn't even feel like a horror anymore. It just felt like, what is even going on? It just devolved into madness. It wasn't even scary anymore. It was just confusing. It was absolute chaos. I also felt like a few of the deaths, they weren't really scary or intimidating. It was just kind of funny. And a lot of the deaths definitely felt cliche. Maybe that's because it's a little bit of an older anime, but it's not really that old. But it just felt like a lot of the stuff in it was kind of cliche. I could sort of guess it. And the ending of the mystery, which I'm not gonna spoil. I mean, it just felt sort of like, okay. I don't know, it almost felt like there was no way to actually tell that that was the surprising twist. Some people like being able to figure out the mystery, and some people would rather just have it come out and just for the shock factor. So I guess it's sort of like you like the shock factor of the mystery being unveiled and there's no way you could have known what was going to happen, or do you like actually being able to sort of solve the mystery yourself? Because, like, for what I remember from the big reveal at the end, it was just kind of like, okay, like, I don't really care. I'm not really invested in what happens to any of these characters except for, like, the main two. So, like, it's like when everyone else dies, it's just, there's no sort of weight behind it. It's just kind of like, that happened. It's not even shocking. It's just meh. Because you don't really care about any of the characters because they're all built up to be kind of jerks at best. And just sort of B-list, just side characters at worst. Like they definitely had a mystery there, and they definitely had horror aspects more towards the beginning than towards the end. I feel like they were more trying to go towards shock value at the end, and I was just so confused. I remember just thinking, what on earth is going on? I've got no idea what happened towards the end. They just absolutely lost their mind. That's what I remember from the show. I was much more intrigued with finding out who May was than the actual mystery of the show. But its saving grace is probably that it's short. I think it's only 12 episodes, so that's definitely its saving grace. It's so short. Animes that short don't have time to devolve into being terrible. If they started out okay, usually they can't devolve that quickly into being terrible because they just don't have enough time to. I feel like every series devolves into being terrible if it goes on for long enough. I mean, One Piece is the only anime I can think of that's going on and is actually still going strong. Like, I've watched so many shows where it's just like, it should have ended such a long time ago, but they just kept trying to milk it, and it just inevitably gets bad. I mean, if you have a fully thought out story like One Piece, it doesn't get as off track as it does if you have a story and then it's finished. So with a 12 episode series like Another, it doesn't have enough time to devolve into being terrible. It just at the end, it got really weird. I've got no idea what they were going for. Would I recommend it? I mean, I'd say it's kind of middle of the road, meh. I mean, it wasn't bad. It wasn't all that good. I mean, maybe you'd like it more than me, but I give it 6 umbrellas out of 10. Bye.